The world is watching the United States and Iran. Headlines speak of escalation, of strikes, of what might happen next. But this story did not begin today. Iran is not at the center of tension because it is weak, but because it sits at the crossroads of empires. For more than 2,000 years, armies have marched toward its mountains. Merchants have crossed its plateaus. Empires have tried to bend it to their will. Today's crisis feels urgent, but this moment is not new. The question is not who will strike first. The question is this: how have great powers throughout history tried to control Iran? In this video, we go back in time to see how great powers tried to control this land. Different centuries, different empires, the same land. Iran is not a flat plain. To the west rise the Zagros Mountains. To the north, the Alborz Range. At its center, vast arid plateaus. To the east, deserts. To march an army here, to supply it, to hold territory, has never been simple. Any power seeking control over Iran had to solve three problems: control the mountain passes, secure water sources and agricultural basins, protect the trade routes. To take Iran did not mean taking a capital city. It meant taking the passes. In the 6th century BCE, the Achaemenids established control over the Iranian plateau, not through force alone. They incorporated local elites. They built a satrapy system. They centralized taxation and road networks. The first method of ruling Iran was clear: build a strong administrative core, because this geography could not be held by force alone. In the 3rd century BCE, the Parthians rose to power. The method changed. Heavy cavalry units were developed. A mobile military model suited to mountains and open plains emerged. Against Rome's rigid legions, mobility prevailed. Control was no longer secured by fortresses alone, but by movement. During the Sasanian era, Iran faced centuries of conflict with Byzantium. Control now required fortified border systems. Western defensive lines in Mesopotamia were reinforced. Chains of strongholds were constructed. Iran became less a conquering empire and more a balancing power. Any force seeking to penetrate the plateau first had to break the frontier. When the Sasanian Empire collapsed in the 7th century, a new force entered the Iranian plateau. Not an empire born from these mountains, but a faith that would reshape them. Under the Rashidun caliphs, Arab armies defeated the Sasanian state. But conquest alone did not secure Iran. During the Umayyad period, political control expanded, yet resistance and regional identities remained strong. It was under the Abbasids that a deeper transformation began. Islam was no longer only a ruling power. It became embedded in administration, culture, and scholarship. Conversion was gradual. Persian elites entered the caliphal system. Islam spread not only by the sword, but through trade, governance, and intellectual life. Over time, religion became a unifying framework, a new source of legitimacy and political motivation. Iran was no longer ruled as a defeated land. It became one of the intellectual and administrative centers of the Islamic world. Faith had entered the plateau, and it would shape every power that followed. In the 11th century, when the Seljuks entered the Iranian plateau, the strategy shifted again. This time, conquest alone was not enough. Migration became the instrument of control. Turkic tribes were settled across the region. Military elites tied themselves to land and territory. population balances shifted. Another lesson emerged. To rule Iran long-term, one had to root power in the soil. Demographic transformation created permanence. In the 16th century, the Safavids reshaped the plateau through ideology. Twelver Shi'ism became the official state doctrine. Religious unity strengthened political centralization. This was not merely theology. It was a method of drawing political boundaries. Belief became a mechanism of territorial cohesion. After the Safavids fell in the 18th century, under the Qajar dynasty, Iran weakened politically. Russia pressed from the north. Britain expanded influence from the south. There was no full occupation, but there were treaties, concessions, and debt. Control was no longer taken by armies. It was shaped through economics. And soon, something beneath the soil would change everything. In the 20th century, oil transformed the equation. From the 1950s onward, energy control became geopolitical leverage. The strategy was no longer territorial invasion. It was influence over governance itself. After 1979, Iran rebuilt itself as a Shia Islamic republic. Power fused with doctrine. Security became central. The Revolutionary Guard emerged. Defense moved beyond borders. Regional networks formed. For outside powers, control became containment. Sanctions replaced invasion. Pressure replaced occupation. Methods changed again. But the land did not. The Zagros Mountains remain. The passes remain. The Strait of Hormuz is still narrow. Across centuries, every power that approached Iran attempted a different method. Some built bureaucratic systems. Some relied on mobile armies. Some altered demographics. Some used belief to unify rule. Some applied economic leverage. Some targeted energy routes. Methods changed. But one reality remained. Iran was never easy to control. Any force seeking dominance first confronted geography, then society, then historical memory, and more often than not, those who came to reshape Iran were themselves forced to adapt. Today's tensions may be another chapter in this long story. The question is no longer, who is stronger? The question is this: is Iran a land to be shaped by outside powers, or one that reshapes those who approach it?